So Donald Trump signed an executive order which is meant to cut funding to NPR and PBS. So, first of all, to get this out of the way, all the people who say that they support the Constitution but support Donald Trump doing this, you don't. Because the president doesn't have the power to process the legislative branch. So every time Donald Trump cuts funding to anything like this, he tries to control our money without getting permission from our representatives. He's being anti-constitutional. Wanted to get that out of the way. The second thing, does this mean we're going to lose Big Bird, Wait, Don't Tell Me, and Terry Gross? No, because only about, 15% of PBS's funding comes from the federal government, and about 1% of NPR's funding. But those numbers don't tell you the whole story because that money is distributed differently depending on the market. So rural markets are going to be hurt disproportionately than more urban markets. Okay, so here's the thing. The county you live in only has about 3,000 people, and there's not really a whole lot of broadcasting out there. One of the few things you have is NPR and PBS, right? But on top of that, when that factory's closing up and 30% of the jobs are going to be lost because of it, it's NPR that would report on that. When there's a corporation, some big corporation that's headquartered in New York or something, and they're polluting your water and there's an uptick in cancer cases, that's NPR reporting that. When there's an emergency and information needs to be disseminated quickly, it's NPR that is putting that information out there to save people. When your kid doesn't really have much educational programming, that's PBS, that's broadcasting that. So once again, these people who live in these rural areas who are probably, and I've seen it, that are celebrating the cutting of this funding, once again, they are hurting themselves disproportionate because they've been told that NPR and PBS has a woke agenda from the president. They don't realize that woke agenda just means reality. This is how tariffs work. Climate change is real. Sorry, it's the reality of things. But it reminds me of when it gets proposed that we should privatize the U.S. Postal Service, and they're told, yeah, why? It's communist, it's socialist, it's woke, the Postal Service, right? But they don't realize that from where you live, mailing a letter anywhere in the country or to anywhere in the country will now cost you $15 or more.